Is anybody natural anymore? What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today's topic, natural versus PEDs. Should you take PEDs? In my opinion, you just do what the fuck you want to do. If you want to take PEDs, then take them. But what is your reason for taking them? Like, do you want to compete? Do you want to get on the stage? Are you about to be in movies? Are you, about to do a competition, a powerlifting competition? Some of the reasons why people are on PEDs, it doesn't really make sense to me. I don't get it. If you're trying to be a fitness influencer, why can't you do that without being, on some type of, enhanced drug, and I'm not talking about supplements. Like, there's nothing wrong with taking supplements. Some people don't think you should even take supplements, which is fine too. And I don't even think it's bad for you to take PEDs. If you want to do that, then do it. My question is to you is, what's your reasoning behind it? Why do you want to do it? And if you're just trying to keep up with the Joneses or, keep up with certain type of people in the industry, like, I personally don't think that's a good enough reason, but it's still a reason nonetheless. There's a lot of YouTubers and Instagram models, I guess, or influencers, that take PEDs, and that's what they want to do. And there's nothing wrong with that. This is the thing. There's a risk in everything, right? I think it's okay for you to take PEDs if you are considering the risk. As long as you're considering the risk and you're comfortable with that, then hey, by all means, do what you want to do. You know what I mean? Because we all take risk. Everything's a risk in life. It's a risk to open up a business. You need to know the risks. It's a calculated risk, but a risk nonetheless, right? So just know the risk when you're, doing certain things. When you buy a used car, there's a risk. When you start a new job, there's a risk. When you move to a different country or to a different state, there's always a risk. So when you're taking PEDs or taking, injectables or orals, there's going to be a risk on your health, right? There's always going to be a risk on your health. But just like when you eat fatty foods and, all types of shitty food, there's always going to be a risk in that too, But statistically speaking, supposedly, like, when you take PEDs, certain types of PEDs, it may shave some years off your life. And, or it could do other things. It can make you sterile. You know what I'm saying? If you're trying to have kids, you may not be able to have kids. But there's all different types of reasons why people are on PEDs. Like, take this, for example. I think this is George Osborne. I think he goes around, asking people at different expos. He does different type of content, but he's asking different people if they're natty or not, just to see if they're going to tell the truth. And I mean, obviously, when you're at an expo, I think you're going to run into more people that are not natural, because, this is the bodybuilding world. You know what I'm saying? You're actually at an event where, there's a lot of bodybuilders who, step on stage.
Are you natural?
No.
When do you start?
Way too early, man. Probably when I was like 20, before you even got all your shit together nutrition-wise, way too early.
And what would your best advice be?
If you're looking to compete and you want to start getting, get 3-4 years training and do a natural junior show at least behind you before you start.
Take your time, is what I say.
So, I mean, what he said makes sense. Like, if you're 20 years old, I don't understand why you're getting on PEDs. That doesn't make sense to me. Like, try to reach your natural potential. Like, you don't even know what your natural potential is at 20 years old. I would say that at 20 years old, maybe 19, that's when I started lifting weights, and like, seriously. And at 20 years old, let's say if that was me, I started at 19. Then at 20 years old, I decided to get on PEDs. It's like, bro, I don't even know how strong I could get naturally. You know what I mean? That doesn't make. I think that you should reach your natural potential first. And I'm just saying that I don't know much about steroids. I don't really know anything about steroids. So that's why I'm not going to tell the viewers you should or should not take it, because I don't really know anything about them. All I know is the research that I've seen of what it does to certain people. Now, that's not going to happen to everybody. Not everybody's going to die young being on PEDs, right? There's several people that are still alive that still take PEDs, and they're older, right? They probably do it a safer way than others, but and they probably reach their potential, possibly. Who knows? There's many reasons why people can live and take steroids, and then there's others whose body just doesn't fare well with it, right? But in my opinion, if I was to give someone advice about steroids, I would say try to reach your maximum potential first. What he said was wait 4 years or something like that. I don't think that there's a time limit on when you can do it, but I think in his case, he wanted to hit the stage possibly. And, if you're going to compete in these types of competitions, then most likely you're not going to be able to compete if you're not on something, because if everybody's on a drug and you're not, then you're not even competing. You know what I'm saying? So how do you expect to win if you can't actually compete with these people?
It's like scanning the area. I'm going to ask you a straight question. You ready?
Depends what it is.
Are you natural or not?
No.
Why?
What do you mean, why?
Why have you gone down the assisted side route?
I was natural for a while, and then, I don't know, I got to a certain age and I just couldn't get any bigger. Yeah. That's basically it, yeah.
And what would your advice be to someone that wants to go down the route?
Don't do it.
Don't
do it.
Why is that?
Unless you're going to compete, I wouldn't even bother touching it.
Yeah.
And if I had my time again, I'd change the first thing I took.
Do you want to share what that is?
What, the first thing I took? I think it was, I took Anavar and Trent. Two of the worst things you could say, yeah.
Yeah, he literally just said the same thing that I was saying. I'm like, unless you plan on bodybuilding, getting on stage and competing with other people that are on the same types of things that you are, the same type of compounds, some different, then why are you even on anything? And that's what he was saying. That's coming from somebody who actually hits the stage, so that's very important to, in my opinion, to listen to people like that. Because the first thing he said was, unless you're competing, then don't do it. So that makes total sense to me.
We always beat around the bush, right? Flex Wheeler, his kidneys failed because genetics. Boston Lloyd, Dave Palumbo did a video. He died because of genetics. Cali Muscle, he had 3 heart attacks because of the protein powder. The protein powder was bad for him. That's not what's causing it. Could, I don't know, maybe he has some slight genetic alteration how his body handles protein. Maybe Boston Lloyd did have a congenital issue that caused kidney failure. Maybe Flex Wheeler as well had a genetic issue that caused kidney failure. But let me talk about how steroids kill you. Steroids, it's not like getting shot with a shotgun in the head. Okay? Now, if you mess up and overdose on insulin, you go hypoglycemic and you die. You die pretty quick. If you mess up and overdose on DNP is a fat loss drug that basically uncouples mitochondria, blah, 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 blah. Long story short, you burn from the inside and you die. If you mess up and you overdose on anabolic steroids, well, you could take a gram of testosterone right now and nothing really happens. You might get an abscess from all the testosterone and oil you just inject in your body, but you're not going to die immediately. So
this is coming from somebody who, if you guys should know Mark Lobliner. If you guys are into the fitness, anything with fitness. Like you know who these guys are, and this guy is he's got trophies in the background. You could see right there. I mean, you got to listen to people like this, because he's actually he's been on these compounds before, so he brought up, Flex Wheeler and a couple of other guys. Flex Wheeler ended up having to, if you don't know, I believe he had to cut one of his kidneys in half or something like that. And he lost a leg as well, because I think that was because of a blood clot or something like that. But he's had to, be on dialysis, you know what I mean? And like I said, Flex Wheeler was one of the greatest bodybuilders that ever hit the stage. Even Ronnie Coleman will tell you that, because in the beginning of Ronnie Coleman's career, Flex Wheeler was beating him. You know what I mean? Because Flex Wheeler looked amazing. And what I was saying earlier is just, it's all a risk, right? As long as the risk is worth the reward to you, then do whatever the hell you want to do. As long as it's worth it to you. I would never tell anybody not to take any type of drugs. Do what the hell you want to do. You're a grown man or grown woman. You guys can do whatever you want to do. Just, have a legit reason behind why you're on these types of drugs. If you just want to look good naked, it's just like, start dieting and lifting and lift. I see young guys all the time, like, and they're just like, they want to get big and strong so fast. It's like, just work hard. Just lift some weights. Stop acting like a pussy in the gym and lifting this baby shit. And you're not even trying to grow the muscle. Like, start lifting heavy. Spend some time bulking. You're going to lose your abs. All right. Don't be afraid to lose your abs when you go into a calorie surplus. You're going to lose your abs, but you don't have to do it forever. Like dirty bulking, I'll never do it again, but it is a way for you to get stronger. I don't suggest dirty bulking to anybody, because it's hard to get that fat off once you've started. Once you put on that fat, it's hard to get it off after that. A clean bulk is ideal if you can, put yourself in a calorie surplus without eating a bunch of bullshit. There was this one time I dirty bulked and I was eating honey buns like every single day, like twice a day. That's not good for you. But I wanted to get stronger, and I wanted to get stronger natural. I wanted to do it naturally. I didn't need to take anything in order to hit certain numbers on the bench or the squat or the deadlift. Every number that I wanted to hit, I hit them without taking any types of drugs. I just put in the work. And I'm not saying that these bodybuilders that are on steroids don't put in the work, because they do. Don't think you can just get on steroids and you don't have to work hard. No, those guys work hard. It's just that they're most of the time they recover faster than somebody who's not on something. These guys can work out 2-3 times a day and recover within hours of their workout. If you're natural, it's going to take you, 24 hours, 16 to 24 hours to recover from just a regular workout that you did.
While like diuretics, fat burners, insulin kill you on sight, steroids don't. So what does that mean? Does it mean we just take more and more steroids? No. Does that mean we take more and more oral steroids? No. Let me explain what steroids do. They stress your body and they cause other things to be not optimal, so that your body is stressed and you're more prone to die from something that might have killed you anyway. Like, for example, being honest, like you look at the issues of heart attacks and heart disease among older black males. You have an average age of death of 62 years. But we had Sean Roden and Cedric die in their 40s. Okay? So would they have lived to 60 without steroids? I don't know.
Who knows?
I don't know. So we might die prematurely, right? I might get hit by a damn bus. I swerved out of the road today to avoid hitting what I thought was an animal, ended up being a tree branch, and I popped my tire, had to get my tire changed, right? I could have literally not noticed there was a car to my left, swerved to the left, taken them out, got out of control, hit a fucking tree, and died. Death it's gonna fucking happen. We're all gonna die. I'm gonna die, you're gonna die. Nancy Pelosi, Joe Biden, they're never gonna die because I think they're fucking immortal. They're like 190 years old right now.
For real, man.
Shit, Dianne Feinstein's been old since I was a baby. Bitch is like 190 years old. But the best case scenario is steroids are just gonna cause you to die early. So you might not die because of steroids, but it is. I know I'm gonna die earlier than I should have because and I'm cool with that. I come to grips with that. But I want you young cats, before you pick up the needle, before you shove it in your glute, before you shove it in your delt, before you shove it in your lat, or anywhere else you kids are injecting now, I want you guys to listen closely. You're playing Russian roulette, but it's long-term Russian roulette. You have a chamber of 100. You have 100, let's say you have a friggin' magazine of 100 in a revolver that's somehow biggest revolver ever made. Click, click. So your chances of dying are very low, but over time, that bullet's gonna come out and it's gonna fucking kill you. So here's the problem. If you're competing, you're probably gonna take diuretics. You might take insulin. Diuretics are hard on your kidney. Being lean and dropping water in and of itself without diuretics is hard on your kidneys. Think about it. Sean, John, Cedric, George, they died of heart attacks. So here's the deal.
Stress.
Why do steroids do this? Well, number one, there's a few reasons. This isn't in order. Causes hypotoxicity of the liver, hepatotoxicity of the liver, meaning your liver is strained, it's toxic. High cholesterol and unhealthy lipid levels that can lead to heart issues. Fertility issues. You young cats, you 18-year-olds, taking steroids, you might never be able to have kids.
Yeah, you're doing it
You're
super
at a delicate
early.
stage where your body might not start producing again. You females thinking of taking steroids, not only will your clit become a little dick, but you might not be able to have kids. High blood pressure, strain on your heart, high heart rate. What does that mean? Strain on your heart. Think about it this way. The body's organs are like transmissions on cars, right? You might have a Toyota Corolla that lasts 300,000 miles. That's pretty rare, right? Okay, there might be one that you have that goes 200,000 miles. But what if you drive like an asshole? What if you rev the engine at every red light? That transmission, right, might only last, or you grind the gears if you have a stick shift, might only last like 60,000 miles. So the heart can only take so much. High blood pressure means more beats means more work, and that transmission will break down faster.
Yeah, I think you guys get the picture of what Mark is trying to say. Like, this is a big risk, and you're potentially just shaving years off of your life if you decide to get into these types of drugs. And, and that's totally up to you. If that's what you want to do, do what the hell you want to do. My opinion, my advice to the younger guys, getting into working out, because I think everybody should work out. You don't have to be, the strongest person in the gym, but I think it's important for you to try to reach your strongest potential. I think that is important. Because people live their whole lives and they don't know how smart they can get, how strong they can get, what their limits are as far as what they can do naturally. They never try to reach that. The same goes with goals. If you get into the gym, that could potentially lead you down a path of trying to strive for better things in your life in general. You're trying to get a certain job. Some of you don't think that you're worthy enough for this job. You're trying to get a certain type of woman. A lot of you men don't think you're worthy enough to be with certain type of woman. but you are worthy enough. You are, but you have to work at being that way. You have to take pride in yourself. You know, value yourself. A lot of people in general, men and women, they don't value themselves. You know, a good place for a young guy or a young woman, you know, to start valuing yourself is in the gym. That's just one way though. You know, that's not, you know, that's just a starting point. It's just because it doesn't cost you that much to be in shape. You don't even have to go to the gym. You could just work out at home. You could do anything at home. You could do push-ups, pull-ups. You could run around the block. You could, you know, you could do anything just to stay in shape. It's just one thing that you could do because that tests your mental focus as well. You dedicating yourself to doing something every day, you know, to eat a certain type of food every day, to taking your vitamins, to going to the gym. Those type of things are important in life. And like I said, that's just my opinion. For a lot of the young dudes that are, you know, getting into the gym, 18 years old, you know, all that social media stuff that we're seeing right now, I didn't have that growing up. And I'm actually glad. I'm glad I didn't, because it's so much pressure right now to be, you know, to be on top, to be like this type of, like, come on, for example, like you're not going to look like this guy right here. I mean, some of you guys follow social media and you see, you know, a guy like this and you're like, man, I want to look like this guy, man. I want to walk around and be, you know, 200. This guy's like 205 pounds, 200.
I'm 93.5.
93.5. So that would be 205 pounds. Yeah. And how tall?
You know, he's less than 215. He looks like he's fucking 230. This guy's a fucking unit, yo. Look at this guy, man. But don't get on social media and think that you can look like this guy without taking some type of diuretics or drugs or, you know, some type of anabolic steroid. Okay. And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, this dude is awesome, man. I like this dude. I like watching him. I like what he does. I like how he looks. Like, he's super muscular. Like, this is a good look for on stage. These guys are on stage. This is their job. This is their career. You know, in order for them to compete, they are taking calculated risk, right? They know the risk in looking like this. You know, they know all the risk. They should anyway. You know, this is their profession, so they should know the risk, right? So there's nothing wrong with being on these types of drugs. It's just make sure that the risk is worth the reward. That's all I'm saying. Because if you guys are out here natural and you think that you're just going to lift hard and eventually you'll look like this, nah, buddy. It's not going to happen. You're going to have to take more things. Look how vascular this guy is. You're not going to look like this, guys. Yeah, so I say all that to say, guys, just stay focused on what you want to do. You know, try to reach your natural potential. Now, when you get in the ages up there, upper 30s, 40s, 50s, things like that, you know, obviously your testosterone is going to drop as you get older. And, you know, maybe you could start taking some type of testosterone therapy or something like that. I mean, to me, that's as far as I think you should go. But, you know, I'm not your fucking doctor or anything like that. So I'm just saying, if you were to get on something, you wanted to be on something, it's understandable why you would want to get on some type of testosterone therapy, because your natural T levels are dropping as you get older. But if you're just wanting to be, you know, super jacked, you want to look like The Rock, I mean, come on, man. Y'all really think The Rock is out here natural, man? But he has a job to do. He's in movies. This guy is getting paid to take these calculated risks. You think he doesn't have doctors like on standby? Like he knows, he has the diets down. He has the money to do this stuff. Don't compare yourself to somebody like The Rock or any of these movie stars, because they have the most professional people tracking their bodies, everything that they do. So, if you get into that type of business, you become an actor, you got the money, you take whatever the hell you want to take, right? Whatever. But for the young guys coming up, man, just do your research, know the risk, and at the end of the day, a man's going to do what he wants to do. Females as well, do what y'all want to do and just be happy doing it. Be comfortable with what your decision is, and just make sure the risk is worth the reward, whatever reward that you get out of it. But anyway, don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Let me know what you think about this video. Maybe I'm tripping. Maybe everybody should just be on steroids, and there's nothing wrong with steroids. Who cares about dying early or not dying early? Because it may not. Who cares, right? Let me know what you guys think. Follow me on Instagram right here somewhere, probably here, and click the notification. We'll see you in the next video. Appreciate you watching. Peace.